Good morning, Muscatine, and happy Monday. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. It was beautiful weather. And as always, I want to start off by thanking our sponsors, Hy-Vee, Unity Point Health and Trinity Muscatine, Muscatine Power and Water, Rivo Plumbing and Heating, Becky Insurance, Toyota of Muscatine, Impact Fitness and Nutrition, Suntan City, Lutheran Living Senior Campus, Harper Cycling and Fitness, Bayer of Muscatine, and this week is Muscatine County Fair. Some amazing things that are happening this week. The Loudon Lofgren Blood Drive starts today at Impact Life Blood Center, and be sure to use the code 4105 when you are donating. And also with Loudon Lofgren, it is the Love Like Loudon Kids Fun Run, and that is Saturday, July 23rd at 10 a.m., where the kids will run, and it will be held at Weed Park. After the races, there's going to be water ball games, ring toss, they can get their face painted, and of course, play on the playground and enjoy some sweet treats like a popsicle. So Impact Life will also be there if you'd like to know what your blood type is, or if you want to sign up for the blood drive. You can come out and have fun for that. There's no fee for this event, but if you are, they are accepting donations in honor of Impact Life Blood Center, so be sure and create that cause and help them out. So again, the code's 4105. This Thursday is the third Thursday startup from Muscatine from 5 to 6:30 at Proof Social. And if you really want to learn more about how to network and social media to grow your business, this is going to be a great workshop there. So you can do networking with other small businesses and support and take part of a social media workshop. And also Thursday, if you love 80s hair bands, you're going to love who's performing this week at Almost Friday Fest. It is Aftershock. They are back for the Almost Friday Fest Thursday, July 21st. Music starts at 5 p.m. There's going to have beverages for sale, food and drinks, and then, of course, just going and enjoying the music. So grab your lawn chair, your friends, your family, your coworkers, and come see Aftershock for that love of 80s hair bands. I have something very exciting for this week, and it's the Muscatine County Fair. So we are going to actually take a quick break, and we're going to talk to someone that knows a lot about the West Liberty Raceway track. So we'll be back in just a minute.
Here at Toyota Muscatine, we're here to serve.
When you buy a vehicle at a multi-brand dealership and it isn't locally owned, it can be difficult to get information that you need.
That's why all of our trained salespeople are focused on one thing, getting you the best deal possible on a new or used Toyota.
And when you pick your favorite, we will help you with financing and maintenance.
We love helping our neighbors.
Come to Toyota Muscatine today.
All right, we are back, and I have Kate Wood here to talk to us about the West Liberty Raceway. Hello.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. So tell us a little bit about the raceway itself.
So the raceway is a historic facility, of course, at the Muscatine County Fairgrounds. It's been an established part of the, of course, West Liberty community, but also the Muscatine community. For years and years, we've had several Muscatine residents who've been racers and well-known racers at that. And up through 2017, we were running the track was running on a weekly basis during the racing season. And then the promoter who had been running the races most recently retired from the West Liberty Raceway, and the track had just a few events in the years to follow, so maybe 3 to 4 events per year. This is the first year that we've had more than a couple races at the track, and we've been running a partial season. So I'm part of Kyle Motorsports, which is my father is the promoter, and I'm kind of the marketing and communications person, but also a utility. I kind of do whatever is needed. But we put together a schedule of 7 events, and then the 8th event is actually the race coming up this Wednesday on July 20th at the Muscatine County Fair, which is being promoted by the fairground or the Fair Board. It's going to be a really exciting event. I'm hoping that a lot of folks who go to the fair will attend the races and we'll see how exciting it is and how much fun it is. Then our next race will be August 6th, which is going to be back to school night. We're going to have a ton of prizes to give away to a lot of kids. We're hoping to raise enough money to have a nickel scramble, which we've had in the past. Those who've gone to the races are probably familiar with this, but what we do is we get a lot of money, turn it into nickels, put it on the track right in front of the grandstand area, and then set the kids loose so they can just go and grab as many coins as possible. And it's super fun to watch. It's super fun to participate in, and it gets the kids really excited. And then our last event for the season is on August 20th. It's the Malvern Bank Super Late Model Racing Series, which brings a lot of top name late model drivers in the area. And of course, we have other classes who will be competing as well, the modifieds as well as the sport modifieds. And again, that's going to be an amazing show. We're going to have a lot to do that night. There will be the Little Racer Car Club, which is a nonprofit organization that helps get kids interested in the sport. They will be having trick or treat night that night as well.
I love trick or treat night. When it comes to the Muscatine County Fair, so kind of talk to some people that maybe who don't know what they are or have never been to them. So Wednesday is the stock car racing. Can you talk to us just a little bit about what that is for some that maybe don't know what it is yet?
Sure, yeah. So the races are going to be held on what we call a dirt track. So it's a half-mile long track, really wide and long. And then we have this weekend, there are going to be 5 classes of cars. You've got your sport compacts, which are going to be your 4-cylinder street-like cars. So your Ford Escorts, your Chevy Cavaliers that have been transformed. They've got a roll cage in them now. They've got a lot of safety gear, and they've been turned into a race car. Another class is going to be the sport modifieds, which is the front wheels are open, and again it's a fabricated race car, so it doesn't come from off the street. It's actually made in a shop or a company that builds race cars specifically, and then they've got sheet metal bodies. We've got the stock cars, which are also cars that come from the street. So your Impalas, Malibus, they've been transformed into race cars just like the sport compacts. Then we've got modifieds, which are a larger engine sport modified. So the body looks really similar, maybe a few tweaks to the design, and then it's got a bigger motor. And then what is typically considered the premier class is the late models. And that again is a car where it's built as a race car. Sheet metal body, you've got your roll cage, you've got a large engine in it, and these cars are under an IMCA sanction, which has a particular set of rules that they have to follow so that they can compete fairly with one another and across the state.
I think I saw too. No, you're okay. I know if you go to the Muscatine County Fair website, they actually list everything too, so you can see all of, maybe someone that wants to do this potentially in the future. You see all the modifications and requirements, and it was really just cool reading all those because you don't think about all the changes that they have to do, but of course safety is always that first priority.
Absolutely. We actually, our last event that we held on July 9th, there was an incident in our hobby stock class with the driver Ryan Havel. He drives a number 0 car and a very, very nice guy, a terrific race team. He's also been a winner this season at the West Liberty Raceway, but he got into an incident where his car flipped over and when he was extracted from the vehicle or when he got out, he had a cut on his knee. I think, from my understanding, they just thought it was a cut that needed stitches, but he went to the hospital and he actually needed to have surgery. He had a broken kneecap, but I spoke to him I believe it was just yesterday online, and he said he expects to be back in August for the races then. So, um,
Wow.
granted, he had a broken bone. It's the type of incident it was. It looks horrific, but the safety gear plays a huge role in keeping those drivers secured in their containment seat. And they also wear fire suits, which we recommend the 3-layer fire suit. It's rated a certain way so that it explains that you have so many seconds of where that suit is on fire to which you can get out of it, or it will protect you from the fire for that long. And it doesn't seem like a long time, but when you get in those incidents, get in an incident like that, you're moving very quickly. And we also have our Speedway Fire and Rescue crew who specialize in racing safety, racing and incident rescue, fire containment, and other safety precautions. And of course, at every event, we also have our West Liberty EMT ambulance crew present just in case anything happens where a driver or a crew member or even a staff member, we never know what might happen, gets into an accident where they need to be treated on the scene. We've got an ambulance and safety crew right there.
Oh, good. I mean, safety is always first in those circumstances. So there's stock car racing, there's demo derby, and then there's trailer races and a tractor pull, correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
The trailer races are a big event on Sunday. Demo derbies are always exciting. We love to see cars get crashed and banged up, and and the tractor pull. It's really interesting. I mean, those machines have huge engines. It's very loud. I recommend hearing protection if you go, but it's a sight. It's really, really exciting.
Which one is probably your favorite event to watch?
For me, of course, it's the races because I grew up around it, and I find it very interesting. And there's a lot of drivers from the Muscatine area, Durant, Wilton, a lot of the surrounding communities. And so you might find that even if you're not familiar with racing and you've never gone, you'll be like, hey, I know that guy. I hear this guy's name on being announced, and I didn't know you raced a car. I know him. And you have someone to root for, or you see a couple of drivers that might be competing closely together, and who knows, you might be like, hey, that guy doesn't look like he's being fair, so let's go for the other guy. And it's just a lot of excitement. But it's all very exciting. It's all a lot of fun, and I can't recommend it enough. This year, the West Liberty Fair Board, they have lined up a great week of activities.
I saw the lineup. I mean, every day there's something going on, and it ranges from children all the way to adults. So there's never a dull moment.
No, there's not. And for the kids, I will have to say, I know fairs are expensive. The Muscatine County Fair Board established children's play areas that are 100% free within the fairgrounds. So if the parents need a break from walking around and having the kids, whine about maybe they're hungry or they're tired, or you can go find a shady spot where one of these play sets are. Let the kids run. Let the kids be active while you take a break. It's fantastic.
So I got to ask, so when it's not fair season, what are the different type of races that take place at the Raceway?
So the rules we run are pretty much the same other than for the late model class. Rather than running IMCA sanctioned rules for the late models, we've opened it up to the super late model racing series rules, which just allows a couple of, let's just say it opens up the amount of cars that can come. You can tweak your car a little bit more, have it run a little bit faster, and that way we aren't just limited to one sector of racers.
And so when does the season technically start for you guys?
Typically the racing season starts late April and would end at the end of August with a few specials in the fall, maybe as late as October. But for us, this is our first year promoting. And like I said, we did a limited season. So our first race was I believe it was April 16th, and our last race will be August 20th this year.
April, that's a short season.
Yes. Yeah, that would
And
not
then-
be near enough racing.
No. So is this limited just because of past kind of COVID, or just in the sense of just kind of getting back into routine?
It's just limited in the sense of getting back into the routine. After the track is sat where it's only ran a few specials a year for a few years, it's really hard to build up that loyal audience, that weekly audience, and get the word out that we're back and running and West Liberty is alive again. So it's just a limited series or schedule this year, and we'll see in the years to come. We're looking for people who would be interested in kind of moving into the promoter position, and I mean, we want this track to stay alive, and it's great for the businesses in the community. It's great for social connections with the different communities and within the communities. So it's an awesome activity.
It's a place to bring everyone together.
Absolutely.
Now, tell us about some of the drivers. Who are some of the local drivers that we can give shout outs to?
Absolutely. We've got, Jonathan Bronze has ran with us a few times this year since we opened up the late model rules. He drives the number 22B late model, very fast. And he's a really, I call him a kid because I've known him since he was a kid, but he's a really great guy, really great kid, really great guy. His dad was involved in racing. I believe it was back in the 90s, John Bronze. Wow. And so we love having them on board. We've got Chad Holliday. He's out of Muscatine, Wilton area as well, driving the number 32C, very fast and competitive in the late model class. And let's see, we've got Chris Zog in New Liberty, a little bit further away, but the 9Z in the modified, he's always somebody to watch. I'm looking down my list here. Johnny Spa's out of Cedar Rapids, and he drives in the stock car class, and he's nearly undefeatable. Very good competitor. Last week, there was some great racing. We had a new winner in the stock car class. And it was just an exciting race to watch because it was right down to the last lap, the last stretch of track. So, and that was Nathan Ballard out of Marengo. So a little further away yet. And he was our winner last week in the stock car class. McGuire DeJong was undefeated in the modified class until last week. He drives the 30M car and drives all the way from Montezuma to come to the track. And just last week, he was defeated by the number 77 of Kurt Kyle coming out of Nichols.
Okay.
Yeah. We've got Ryan Walker out of Wilton, Levi Heath out of Wilton, Brendan Schulteis out of Muscatine. He's in the sport modified class.
Nice.
And we've Cody Staley. How can I not mention Cody Staley? He drives the number 55 hobby stock. He also races in the sport compact class. And I tell you what, he is fun to watch, and he's always in the top, always finishing at the top. So somebody to watch.
It's so entertaining. It's not NASCAR. It's not Indy. I mean, there is an extra unique flair. I don't even want to say flair, but it's just so much different than like your average concrete racing.
Absolutely. Racing on asphalt. Anybody who's a dirt racing fan thinks that asphalt racing is boring. But I mean, they both have their elements that can be enjoyed. But with dirt racing, these cars, they don't drive around the corners. They slide around the corners. Their back wheels get out from behind them and shift towards the wall, and they skate around the track. It's really interesting to watch.
I say, don't tell my husband that. He's a Indy track observer.
Indy, I have no problem with Indy racing. I just have a preference towards dirt track racing.
I just think there's just something about it that you don't know what's going to happen. And that's that on the edge of your seat thrill about it.
Yes, absolutely. There can be fantastic wrecks, and I say fantastic meaning that it's just unbelievable. And there can be just last week, I think it was 4 out of the 6 classes that we ran. 4 of those races ended where it was side by side racing up to the line. And you had no idea who was going to win.
That edge of the seat thrill.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is loud. Again, I will recommend hearing protection if you're not a fan of loud noises. And but and you might, if you're sitting on one of the towards turn one, which is after the flag stand as you start to go around the corner, that's turn one for those who may not know. Or if you're sitting in turn 4, which is the last area where it curves around to come towards the flag stand. If you're sitting in one of those areas, you might get a little bit of dust in the air. So,
Yep.
Sunglasses or safety glasses are, I might suggest those. They aren't not necessarily required or anything, but yeah. And then I'll talk about the facility a little bit if I have a moment.
Yeah, please,
So
by all means.
Okay, like I mentioned earlier, it's a half-mile dirt track, which is actually a dirt clay mix. And we've got wide corners, wide straightaways, and backstretch. Turns 3 and 4 are what have been referred to as like the Bermuda Triangle, because while there's an angle to the corner, at the very top it comes to like a shelf, and if the drivers get on that shelf, they can sometimes get sucked right into the wall. So they have to be careful for that. But covered grandstand, so you can be in the shade. If you're sitting, the grandstand, it has backs to the seats, so you can lounge and be a little bit more comfortable. The bleachers are open aired and all steady, stable, a lot of room to sit. So if I might recommend bringing a cushion if you'd rather sit on a cushion, because they are hard surfaces. But wheelchair accessibility in several areas. There were upgrades that they did, I believe, within the last 10 years to make that the case. So it really is a great facility and a great track, and I can't recommend it enough.
And it's something unique. It's something different. You don't find it or see it all the time or everywhere. And within the facility, can people purchase food and drink for, like, for example, just like the normal race season?
Yes. So, of course, during the fair, you're going to have all kinds of food stands to choose from. But during we'll call regular race, so August 6th or August 20th, the fair board has their concession stand open underneath the grandstand. They sell hamburgers, cheeseburgers, hot dogs, brats, nachos, super nachos, popcorn.
Super nachos.
Super nachos. Yes. I like to put pickles on mine. It's a little bit different, but pickles, yeah, they're good. And then adult beverages, of course, are available, as well as, Gatorade and Pepsi products. There also is the Little Racer Car Club. I want to mention them once again. It's a nonprofit group that is headed by Mitch Swinton out of Lone Tree. And what they do is when kids, I believe it's kids 13 and under, when you come into the races, head to their booth underneath the grandstand, which is just right across from the concession stand. You cannot miss them. And you can sign up. They have giveaways right when you walk in. So you can walk away with, a race car, some stickers, some kind of toy or activity. And then later in the night, they will announce a trophy presenter. So one of the kids gets to go out after every feature event, hand the driver their trophy, meet the driver, and get a picture taken with them. And they also get a trophy to keep and take home, which is...
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, the kids love that. And they're really cool trophies, too, out of Harry's Custom Trophy. And also the Little Racer Car Club will draw numbers for additional prizes for random kids that have signed up and have their tickets. And so, although the Little Racer Car Club will not be there at the fair race due to space issues, they will be there at the August events.
Okay, good. Because then you said the August event was the nickel event, correct?
So, yeah, what we're hoping to do on August 6th, that's going to be back to school night. Well, first of all, we're looking for contributors, sponsors, donors to help us wrangle up a ton of school supplies. And that isn't limited to just, backpacks and notebooks, but it can be fidget toys, it can be clothing items because, kids need to be comfortable in the classroom. It can be maybe a learning toy that they take home, and it can be a bicycle as a mode of transportation to get to school, a kick scooter.
Yep.
It can be really anything, gift cards to restaurants so that the family can spend some time together and eat a meal and not have to worry about, other things at home.
Yep.
So we're looking for businesses or individuals to contribute to that. And then the other thing is we're hoping to have a nickel scramble. I did have one donor, or I should say contributor, Max Trailers with Sean McCleary. He offered generously $500 to go towards a nickel scramble specifically. But
Wow.
to make a nickel scramble successful, to make it big enough so that all the kids can participate and, really have fun with it, I have a goal set of $1,500. So I'm looking for businesses, individuals, or any kind of contributor who would be willing to give a little bit of money to go towards a nickel scramble so that we can have it. The kids get
Yep.
super excited about it. The parents find it hilarious to watch. So we're looking for just folks to help out with that. And then we can make it, a lot of fun on back to school night, August 6th.
When it comes to the nickel scramble, are you just asking people to send in money to you and then you take care of the nickels, or you be like, hey, help me out, go to the bank, grab me some nickels? Which way would you prefer? Or both? Doesn't matter.
Well, it doesn't matter if you wanted to get nickels and that would be fine. But really, we could, that's something we can take care of. We can,
Yep.
once we collect the funds, we can go to the bank and have that taken care of, turned into nickels. And we get 5-gallon buckets and a couple of volunteers to unload them on the track. Yeah.
And what is the best way for someone to either go on Facebook or go online to keep up to date with the events that are going to be taking place here soon?
Right now, we just have a Facebook page. It's Kyle, Kile, Motorsports Racing Events. And you can go there, check out, I keep it really up to date with all the information on back to school night, whether you are just attending, want to attend and want to know what's going on, or if you want to be a contributor. We're always looking for sponsors for the raceway or for the events. We could have it be, your business, Joe's famous shoe shop, night can be August 6th. So, and that can all be found at Kyle Motorsports Racing Events on Facebook.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's so much fun. Those are two fun, it's scary to think August is already happening here soon, but it's two very fun events that people can look forward to and bring their kids out and enjoy.
Yes, absolutely. It's a great way to spend some family time together before the really busy season of school and sports and choir activities, all that stuff starts.
It's only a couple weeks away, and that is so exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time.
It is. It is. Yes.
Kate, what else would you like to share with us? There's so much going on at this raceway now here in the next week. You've got a lot of events coming up, and then, of course, the nickel and back to school night.
I just want to, highly recommend checking it out. There is admission fees for adults, students and senior citizens. They get a discounted rate. But kids 12 and under are completely free at our events at the August 6th and August 20th event. I'm not quite sure what the rates are for Fair Night, but that's something you can check out at the Muscatine County Fair website. And it's reasonable. It's probably close to the same. Plus, you get all the fair activities on top of that with the rides and whatnot. I want to make sure that people know that Kyle Motorsports is going to be with the West Liberty Raceway throughout this season. There had been a rumor floating around that we were stepping away from it, but we're not at all. It's just that this fair race is the Fair Board's race. They're the promoter, and they're going to do a great job. And we are 100% backing them and going to help them out in any way that we possibly can, just like they've helped us out throughout the season with us using their facility, renting it out, and they've been very cooperative and helpful towards us. So check it out. Check it out. All the fair events, check them out. They're fantastic. It's a great week to spend outside. It might be a little warm, but it's completely worth it. And then in August, as you're getting ready to go back to school, check out Back to School Night. It's the Liberty 100, which is kind of a special race. We've got a higher purse, and we're hoping to make, we're still kind of in the planning process of that, but we're going to make it a special race, special event. And then the Nickel Scramble, hopefully to be held that night if we get enough contributors. And August 20th, the Malvern Banks Super Late Model Racing Series will be at the West Liberty Raceway.
Wow.
So, and hopefully the Halloween trick or treat night for the kids.
Yes. So a lot of fun events to kick off the end of the season.
Yes.
I love that. Well, I will definitely get this word out. I think this is so cool. I obviously knew about the dirt racing, but I didn't know anything about these later events. I think this is so neat and a unique way to utilize the racetrack and more than just racing.
Absolutely. And there's something for everyone. I mean, it's not just for adults who like racing. You know, the kids have plenty to do and plenty to get excited about. And, you know, bring your friends, bring your neighbors, make it a social thing. You know, of course, be careful with COVID, but it's a great chance to get out and enjoy Iowa, enjoy the community.
That is very true. And so thank you so much. I'm looking forward to all these amazing race events and then being able to take, hopefully I can bring my 2-year-old for all the other fun events coming up, as long as he doesn't try and eat a nickel.
Yeah. I'm sure the Little Racer Car Club has something a little special for him.
Probably, yes.
Yes.
Well, again,
thank you so much.
Yes, of course. Thank you for coming on and talking to us about the Raceway. For maybe some that haven't been there or don't know really much about it, I think this is a perfect opportunity for them.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Muscatine, I will see you tomorrow. Until then, stay happy and stay healthy. I will see you later, Muscatine.
We've all been through a lot together, and along the way, you'll find out who really cares for you and who you can trust. Because there's a lot of stuff that happens in life, like those days when the amazing happens, or those days that are really, really hard. That's why you need someone like Unity Point Health. Because when it comes to your health, you gotta have someone you can trust. Unity Point Health. Know how much you matter